Hello everyone, today we will paint Princess Zelda from The Legend of Zelda. Starting from the head and more specifically from the hair. We will base it with Zandri dust. 2 layers will be enough. With Ushapti bone we will start highlighting the hair. Target both the areas on top front and those on the side. Optionally, you can add highlights on the back as well. Mixing Skeleton Horde in contrast medium 1:1. We will shade the hair. We do this to blend the colors together and in the same time warm the colors a bit. Once the contrast is dry, we will dilute Ushapti bone with contrast medium, roughly 50-50 again, and we will go over the highlights we made 2 steps ago. Cover about 80% of said highlights so that the blending is not ruined. Adding 1 portion of Pallid Witch Flesh to the mix, we will add 1 more layer of highlights on the hair. Cover roughly 50% of the previous layer in order to show progressing highlights. Once more, we shall blend the colors. This time we will create a mix of 2 parts Seraphim Sepia and 1 part contrast medium. With this mix, cover not only the areas with highlights but the whole hair. After waiting for the mix to dry on the hair, we shall take pure Pallid Witch Flesh and add details over the highlights. Completing this step means we are done with the hair and we are moving to the face. Using basic skin tone, we will carefully base the face. In case the primer is visible after 2 layers, add the 3rd one, but do not add more than that. Reusing Zandri dust for a quick moment, we shall paint the eyebrows. The eyelashes will be painted with Abaddon black. It is recommended that you use a thin brush as the areas are small. Regardless of the brush, if mistakes are made on the outside of the eyes, fix them immediately. The eye sclerals will be painted with Corax white as usual. Zelda's irises are bright blue. To achieve this color, we will have to start with something darker. In our case, we will start with Cantor blue. Then, with Teclis blue, we will highlight the irises. Cover about 50-60% with a highlight color. The pupils will be painted with Abaddon black. Making yet another mix, this time consisting of Cadian Flesh Tone and Bugman's Glow, 1:1. We will paint the lips. In case of mistakes, fix them immediately by applying their respective colors. Time to highlight the facial skin. To do this, we will use Pale Flesh. Our target is the forehead, the nose bridge and the cheekbones, as well as the jaw. Afterwards, using light flesh, we will add a few details on the nose bridge and cheekbones. Optionally, we can add details on the forehead, however, they need to cover a very small part of it. In order to finish the head, we will paint the hairpins. They will be based with Thousand Suns blue. Use a small brush and go slowly as the areas are small, and I suppose you don't want to ruin the work done so far. Then we will highlight the pins with Ahriman blue. Again, go slowly with a small brush. For the head's ultimate step, we will add details on the pins with Baharoth blue. This is an optional step, however we will use this paint later as well. We will move to the upper body and paint the shirt with Thousand Suns blue. The gray you see in the undershirt is primer, so no worries, you haven't missed any step. Using the contents of a well-shaken pot of apothecary white, we will now paint the undershirt. 2 layers will be sufficient for a nice solid gray. If you paint over the blue shirt by mistake, fix it immediately. The same color should also be applied to the external fabric of the arms. Jumping back to Thousand Suns blue for a quick moment, we will use it to paint the inner fabric of the arms. The small area which is between the gloves and the part we painted grey in the previous step. Back to the upper body, and with XV88 we will paint the embossed details of the shirt. We are painting the specific area now in order to make it easier to highlight all areas later, avoiding costly mistakes. There are details under the breast which will also be painted with XV88. Mixing 1:1 XV88 and Pallid Witch Flesh, we will highlight the ochre areas on the shirt. Feel free to highlight the lower areas as well if you like it. With just Pallid Witch Flesh, we will go once more over the highlights and add a few details. The targets are mainly the areas that the light would hit the most. With all the ochre highlighted, we are going to shade the entire part. I suggest you use a small brush to minimize the shade that goes onto the blue and grey areas. If at any case you overshade the non-ochre areas, fix it by applying the respective color. Do not forget to shade the area under the breasts. Having finished the dangerous area, we will start highlighting the rest of the upper body. We will start this task from the grey area, which will take a nice first highlight of sky grey. Start painting from the center and avoid covering near the ochre part. This is for 2 reasons. The first one is to avoid mistakenly painting over the ochre, and the second is to show the diffusal of the light. While at this step, we can also highlight the sleeves at the arms with the same color. The difference on the sleeves is that we want to catch the midway and up, leaving the areas where the contrast has pulled in a darker grey. The second highlight over the same area will be done with Corax white. Cover from center to edge about 80% of the previous layer. Highlight the white areas at the belly level as well. While painting, I had completely missed that part, so I don't have a video demonstration. Like in the previous steps, we can also simultaneously paint the sleeves. This time, we cut the raised details of the sleeves, leaving a leveled gradient on the pieces. Finish off the undershirt with another highlight, this time of bold titanium white. You can use any pure white you want instead. Again, cover 70 to 80% of the previous layer's area. On the arms, we want to paint the areas that the light hits directly. You can fit the arm pieces to the upper body and see how the light is coming to the model. It's time to finish the upper body by highlighting the blue shirt. Using Ahriman blue, we will go over all raised areas and the center of the flat ones. Also, we will paint close to the sharp edges if any. While with this color, you might also want to highlight the blue part of the arms. Mixing equal parts Baharoth blue and Ahriman blue, we will add a second highlight to the shirt. This is a mandatory step as pure Baharoth blue is too bright for the big areas on top of Ahriman. Trust me, I've tried. Now that we have a gradient, we will add Baharoth blue details on top of our highlights. Cuts the center of the flat areas and only the most raised of the areas on the shoulders and arms. With that, the upper body is complete. Next, we will focus on the hands and then proceed to the lower body. With careful movements, we will base the gloves on both arms with Rhinox hide. Afterwards, we will use Agrax Earth Shade and shade the gloves. Once the shade is dry, we will mix 50-50 Rhinox Hide and Doombull Brown. With the mix, we will highlight the sides of the gloves which the light would hit. If you are not sure, fit the arms to the main body and see. Or you can use the previous highlights on the sleeves to guide you. Then we will add a layer of details using Doombull Brown. Cover the areas the light would hit directly without expanding too much. The hard part of the gloves, which I do not know how they are called, will be painted with German grey. As they are not so well visible, we won't highlight them. If you wish, you may, but it is not mandatory. Also, if you know how they are called, do write me in the comments. The fingers, like the face, will be based with basic skin tone. 2 to 3 layers are enough. Afterwards, we will highlight the fingers with pale flesh. With both the sleeves and the gloves, you now know from where the light hits the arms. Use this information to your advantage. Finally, we will add on extremely few areas of the fingers details with light flesh. As promised, we will now move to the lower body. First, we will paint the pants with black Templar. Only one layer is needed. Immediately after the contrast has dried, we will load a dry brush with Eshin Grey, and after removing the excess paint, we will go lightly over the pants. This way, all the details in high areas will be cut and brought forward. Without changing dry brush and without dipping it into water, we will load it again, this time with Dawnstone. With the new color, we will go even lighter over the pants and the raised areas. We will bring all colors together with a nice layer of Nuln Oil over the pants. Do not let the oil pool at any place. We are just using it to blend the colors. You can paint the shirt part below the belt exactly as we painted the shirt on the upper body, so I will not demonstrate it. The belt itself will be painted with Mournfang Brown. I wanted it to be a different hue from the gloves and the boots, so I chose that color. You can recreate the steps from the gloves if you want the belt to be darker. The belt will be shaded with Seraphim Sepia. The shade does not need to be diluted, so go straight from the pot. It may not look so good right now over the Mournfang, but later with the highlights it will look way better. If you want a darker shade, you can use Agrax Earth Shade instead. Mixing 1:1 Mournfang Brown and Scrag Brown, we shall start highlighting the belt, after we make sure the shade is fully dry. The details are small and mistakes can happen. Apply Mournfang on the affected areas you want to fix, and then dilute Seraphim Sepia, adding multiple layers. Subsequently, we will trace the most raised areas and add a layer of pure Scrag Brown. Go slowly and gently in order to avoid mistakes. The final touch on the lower body will be added with Retributor armor on the buckle on the small belt. We will start the boots with 2 amazing and thin layers of Rhinox hide. Do not paint the upper part of the boots. Mixing 1:1 Rhinox hide and Doombull Brown, or using the mix we made earlier, we will do pre-shade highlights on the boots. Afterwards, we will shade the boots with Agrax Earth Shade. We'll return to the mix we made earlier, and once the shade is dry, we shall apply it over the highlights, but this time we will cover less area. Then we will add details of just Dumble Brown over the same areas. The upper part of the boots will be painted with Sky Grey. 2 carefully painted layers will be enough. Using Ulf 1 Grey, we will do edge highlights. Go around and be as careful as you can not to paint over the brown highlights. Ultimate step for this tutorial: painting the metallic part of the boots. This will be achieved with the use of Retributor armor. Optionally, you can shade the gold with Agrax Earthshade and make highlights. I trust you can do this on your own if you desire it, so there is no point in demonstrating it. The results should look like this. This video was made in a collaboration between nuskuLART and me. His socials, as well as the link for the files, are in the description. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up and feel free to also hit the subscribe button. All colors used in this video are on your screen now. I was MiniatureUrsus. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next one.